Hey, what's going on?
What is going on, everybody? And welcome to the RPS PGA Pinseekers show. I am your host, JSU. And today we've got like a round table because we got not just my man Big T, but Hoop and AP to join us on the PGA Pinseekers show. But mainly, it's really for me and Tony to show them how it's done. And that's what we're going to do right now, Tony.
Well, I think it's a good thing. No, I'm going to hop right in. I mean, I guess it's probably a good thing AP and I hopped on. I mean, you guys couldn't even get the thing going. I was waiting for you to start the show, and you're just sitting there. So I'm assuming it's a good thing that we hopped on here. I mean,
first of all,
first disaster avoided. It was already there like 10 seconds ago. No. The producer was on it. You guys failed
right out of the gate. The Wednesday show has started on time every week. The Tuesday show usually starts at like 15 minutes late. You guys aren't even like the Zoom isn't even going by the time the show starts. So I don't want to hear.
Because we're researching the slate. We're digging deep. We're giving the winners. We give the winners on the Tuesday show. We give the winners on the Tuesday show. The Wednesday show makes fun of the Tuesday show and then piggybacks our plays. So it's gonna all get settled today, boys.
It's gonna be perfect though, because now we can make fun of each other to your face, and then it's just gonna be great. We can go back and forth, and it's gonna be really good. The people will love it at least. But guys, we got a ton to get to. Before we get to it, please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube page. Hit that thumbs up, like button. Help us pump out this free content for you guys.
ASU, how are we going to represent Wednesdays when your internet's going out?
Gosh, man, good thing we're here, AP.
I mean, we didn't hear a word you just said.
You didn't hear a word I just said?
Did you guys hear it? The Tuesday crew?
I heard it fine.
I heard him just fine.
Yeah, it's your crappy Cincinnati.
Maybe it's Mr. AOL himself.
Yeah.
Big T.
He's got
this thing's derailed.
Right,
look at it. Hey, AP, good thing we're here. That's all I got to say. Look at this. Look at this train wreck. Train wreck of an operation on Wednesday nights. Hate to see it.
God, we got Jay Reed in the chat right now. He's saying likes for Hoop and AP, dislikes for Big T and JSU. He must be a Tuesday-only show. He must be a
smart
Tuesday
man,
only, Tony.
A loyal Tuesday listener. I mean, they're smart people.
All right. Well, guys, let's get into this.
Another thing we got to talk about before we get into it. Like, these guys can't even figure out how to change their name and avatar in the chat. Like, it's embarrassing.
Oh, let me. You locked me out of it. I went in through all my settings and I can't change it. You got to change it. You control all the Google settings stuff, man.
I don't control Andrew Peterson's Google settings.
Through Rumpier Sports, you do. We'll talk about it. I tried to change it. I'm a donkey when it comes to internet stuff, though.
What about Michael Petta? Does it still say Michael Petta? What's
Mike P tonight? It's Mike P tonight.
Every time you do a show and I see Mike P in the chat, I just ask who Mike P is. Oh, it's so good. All right, but enough talk, guys. Let's get into this slate. We got a bunch of stuff to get into. First, we're going to start at the top here. We're going to get through these, golfers here: John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, DeChambeau, Thomas, Cantley. All these guys are 10K and up. We're going to start with Tony. Tony, what are we doing here at the top? We've talked about DeChambeau. That was something that obviously he had a rough time out last time he played. Are we going back to DeChambeau? Do you like Rahm? Do you like Thomas? Where are we looking?
Yeah, so first of all, I think the most important part of the week is that there's no cut. So we don't really have to worry about the guys at the bottom making the cut, making birdies, stuff like that. There's a bunch of super cheap guys that we'll get to in a minute that I think are good plays. I think you guys think are pretty good plays down low too. So I definitely want at least two guys above, say, for sure above 9K. I want two guys for sure above that. Maybe even two studs, like all the way up. So all these guys are good plays. I'm stuck on Bryson. I know you guys aren't going to like him, but he's going to be way under 10%. Everyone's talking about his chipping and his short game. And I like the fact, though, the last time we saw him, he made a 10. Everyone was laughing at him. He was screaming at the rules official. He was pissed. He's been working like 18-hour days in the lab, just steaming, watching the tape of his embarrassment. This guy works hard, and I got him at the top. But, I mean, all these guys at the top are good. We can always split split who we're going to say. I mean, Rahm, Rory, JT, Cantlay. I mean, they're all great plays. So you just got to pick, go with it. I'm going to have a little bit of all of them just because I don't mind playing the cheap guys. But for sure, it's going to be Bryson for me as my main guy, and then a little bit of the other guys as well. I mean, they're all going to be 15% besides Bryson, right in that range. So I'll just go 20 to 30% on the other ones, go way heavy on Bryson. That's my plan in the top range.
So I'm just going to make you rank them. If you had to rank your top three, so Bryson would be 1, obviously. Who would be 2 and 3?
Rory'd be 2, Cantlay'd be 3, Rahm would be 4, JT'd be 5.
All right. So Hoop, I'm going to bring it to you now. So Tony likes DeChambeau 1. He thinks JT in that range is probably the last guy he's going to go with. Do you disagree with any of those takes? And then how do you see this top range?
Well, the one thing I definitely agree on with Tony, which he's, I've taught him over the course of years in PGA DFS on these no-cut events is like, man, you just go to the bottom and you can play as many of these guys up top as you want. You really don't need to cut a guy out because you think you have to make cuts. And especially this week, like the ownership that I'm seeing on some of these guys is so low where it's going to be easy to maybe cross off one of them and then get overexposed to the rest. And for me, way up at the top, it's Rory. He's the one that's being talked about the most, which is, it's kind of surprising because he hasn't played all that good. He was the first guy, when pricing came out that I really kind of fell in love with up top. It just feels like a week for him. Gets the number 1 spot taken from Rahm last week. He had a week. I think he had 1 or 2 weeks off to kind of work on his game. It just seems like the spot where he gets right here. So he's my favorite up top. Justin Thomas is a guy I typically don't play, and I give AP a lot of crap for liking him every single week, no matter what. And I'm sure when you go to AP, he's going to tell you it's his favorite guy up top. But I'm kind of with him this week. I like him. A par 70 here. I just feel like he's a guy that I like to play more when it's on these par 70 courses. And then the third guy I like quite a bit above 10K is Cantlay, and he's probably my second favorite. So in terms of ranking them, it would be Rory, Cantlay, and then JT. The Bryson thing, man, I don't know. Like I'm still torn on what I'm going to do with him. His new game, I don't know if it necessarily fits this course. I mean, a lot of really long par 4s, so those big drives, aren't really going to be a huge benefit to him. He's still going to have, 120 in opposed to some of these other courses where he's bombing it way out there and he's literally got 50 yards in. So I don't think the big driver is going to be a huge asset for him this week. And there's a lot of water on this course. And, last time out, he was finding some of that water. So I'm torn on him, leaning towards potentially fading him. But I really like those other 3. Like I said, it's Rory, it's Cantlay, and then it's JT for me up top.
So from a lineup construction, though, you're very similar to Tony, where you guys are going to play a bunch of these guys at the top. And then obviously from a construction standpoint, you're going down to the bottom for 1 or 2 pieces.
I mean, usually in these no-cut events, like when you go down to the bottom, you're getting some absolute, shitter golfers. Like that's not the case this week. I actually feel comfortable with some of those guys down there, which we're going to talk about. I'm definitely more excited to talk about like the 6K guys than probably any other range in this field. It's going to be a fun event.
All right. So AP, bringing it to you. These guys, Tony didn't like JT. Hoop kind of likes JT. What are you thinking about JT and then the rest of this range? Give me your ranks.
I mean, that's because Tony doesn't like good golfers. I mean, Justin Thomas is absolutely the man. No, to be honest, I'm kind of in line with what these guys have said regarding the golfers up top. I mean, I think Rory is clear cut above, in a tier of his own. I feel like he's coming into form, and the course should be really wet. There's going to be a lot of weather, especially these first few days. That should soften up the course, and we know Rory just absolutely loves to, when a course is nice and soft. The other thing about TPC Southwind is we want to target golfers who are really solid tee to green. Because as Hoop said, there's a ton of water in play. There's a lot of sand, sand bunkers and everything. And so there's a lot of different hazards where some big scores can be had. And I don't think I don't think the course is going to play like too easy. And so I love the idea of kind of a true stud and dud approach because there's some guys really, priced way down there that are really interesting. For me, I love Justin Thomas up top. I love where his game's at right now. Tee to green, he is just phenomenal. His irons look really good. When I pull up his stuff, I mean, he's somewhat struggled at times to score when it comes to putting, but he's okay on Bermuda. And, it is what it is. Scoring will come and go. Putting is extremely volatile. And I just think he's one of those guys that gives you a ton of win equity at the end of the week. The other guy I like, of course, is Rory. I think the whole Run Pure crowd is really overweight on Rory this week, which is nice to see. The other guy, actually, Cantlay. So I'm kind of in line with Hoop this week. So for me, it's Justin Thomas number 1.
That's going to be good for your results this week, by the way.
Yeah, Rory number 2, and then Cantlay number 3. And Bryson, I give it to Tony. I guess I'm fading Bryson. He's not in any of my builds yet, and I mean, I don't know. I like the play. I don't hate it. I just didn't land on him because I like these guys, Justin Thomas and Rory just a little bit more. So kind of a gut feel. It's nothing against Bryson. Like I think if you're really feeling the play like Tony is, I think it's a good, I think you stick with it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you who's feeling himself is Mr. Hoopster right now, getting real comfortable on the Wednesday show, Hoop. You're just sliding right in. Tony, what do you say about this? Hoop's just kind of sliding in. He's just feeling himself right now on our show. What do you say?
When you win $500K every week, you get to come in and have some swag with you. I mean, he gets that right when he keeps feeling all these jibbies.
This is true. This is very true. All right, so let's bring it to this 9K range, and I'm going to start with Hoop. The guy's feeling himself right now. Hoop, what are you thinking here at this 9K range? We got Simpson, Schauffele, Hatton, Berger, Morikawa, Hovland, Dustin Johnson, who just he really struggled. Koepka, Finau, Fitzpatrick. I know you're a Fitzpatrick homer. What this 9K range? Where are you looking here?
It's a tough range. I mean, there's some tough decisions to be made. I'll go ahead and list off the guys that I'm going to fade for sure. Hatton's been playing well, but I'm not paying 9.7 for him in this field. Berger has some good course history here. Not going to pay 9.6 for him. Dustin Johnson, no. I mean, his game it's been a disaster, and I guess you can make the argument, the game theory argument. No one's going to be on him. He can win tournaments. I'm not going to him. Always play Finau, but it's going to pain me. I don't think I'm going there this week. Just it seems like a letdown spot for Finau. I mean, just back-to-back tournaments where he's kind of in contention and then just cannot get it done. The guy just cannot win golf tournaments. And in 9-1, he doesn't need to win a golf tournament, but it just feels like a letdown spot here. Par 70. I don't think this course really suits his game all that much. And then like Fitzpatrick at 9K, that's too much for me. Like I like Fitzpatrick when he's like 8K. Like I don't want to pay 9K for Matthew Fitzpatrick. So I'll be off him. So that leaves us with like Webb Simpson, who will be in my player pool, Schauffele, Morikawa. Hovland's a guy I'm not certain on. I'm curious to see what you guys think about him. And then Brooks, I'm going to play for sure. Webb Simpson, just a good course fit. He's I know AP is going to go with the Bermuda stats, so I won't even mention it. But apparently he's pretty good on that surface. And I like him at these par 70 courses. So the course fits him well. Xander Schauffele is the interesting one. The guy I was kind of, considering going into the week, but then like everyone's just talking about playing Schauffele. So I think his ownership is going to be relatively high. And I usually, don't put a ton of emphasis on ownership. I talk about it all the time, but this is a case where I might because I like the guys above him. I think more like I like Webb more and I like Cantlay more. So I'm considering fading Schauffele. I think he's a fine like cash game play, maybe play him in cash games and then fade him in tournaments. I don't know. Kind of torn on him. Morikawa's a guy I love. I mean, long irons are very important here, and he has some of the best long irons in the game. 9.5K is a modest price tag. He has winning upside, so I'll probably be on him. And then Brooks Koepka. A lot of people are talking about him, so it's not like he's going to be unowned this week. but it seems like a get right spot. I mean, there was some issues or some talk a couple weeks ago about the knee, but he said it's fine. He said he feels fine. So I'm going to play Brooks in tournaments. I think he's a fine play. It just comes down to the putting with him. Can he make some of these putts? And he hasn't been putting all that well, and putting's very volatile. So that's kind of where I stand in this range. Hovland's a guy I'm still pretty uncertain of.
All right, Tony, let's bring it to you. And I mean, first, I want your opinion on Bermuda greens and any other greens, just please.
Oh yeah, I love the Bermuda splits, the proximity to the green. We get more of that. We haven't had that on the Wednesday show. These donkeys come on. We'll get all the Bermuda stats, the wind. I mean, what these guys do in the wind ratio and the water, how they travel over the water, and how they do it 7 a.m. versus 10 a.m. They got all the stats coming in for us. But
me, you better go ahead and point that in the direction of AP. You know that's not my style.
I mean, I watched the show. I lumped the Tuesday show in together.
Hey, what's our record? What's our record? I mean, is it 6-0?
No, not
7-0 maybe?
No, stop it.
7-0. All right. We've gone off course here. I don't know about 7-0.
Yeah, I mean, he distracted me from my winners. I like this range, and I wanted to get some opinion because this guy's freaking killed me. And I came into the week saying I wasn't going to play him for sure. And he's just staring at me, and I know I'm going to end up playing him because it just feels like he's going to crush. But Big Dick Brooks, is it going to be Big Dick Brooks or is it going to be I suck ass Brooks? I mean, I don't know which one, but man, he's staring at me at 9,200. He's had good history in spots like this. He's close. He's just missing every putt. He's super close. I know AP's waiting for next week, which I do agree. He's always been great in majors. Man, he's staring at me, though, at 9,200 this week. I'm definitely going to play some. It's just a matter of how much. And the other guy in this range, I don't know if I wasn't listening, I was drinking, but I don't know how much he talked about him. But Morikawa he always looks good to me, staring at me at 9,500. He's got some really nice matchup prices, too. Big favorites over guys in this same range. I think those are the two guys in this range for me. I'm looking. I'm not going to play Fitzpatrick. I couldn't even believe he was 9K. I usually like him, but I like him at 8K, not 9K. DJ not playing. Hovland I like, but I don't like him more than these other guys in this range. Hatton definitely not playing. Berger I like, but not more than these other guys. So for me, definitely Morikawa. I love Morikawa always. He's just such a good ball striker. And then Brooks, I'm still deciding about Brooks. I think I could end up pretty heavy on Brooks just because I can't resist him. I don't know why. He keeps screwing me over, and I keep coming back to him. But he is close, and I like him. I can't help myself. I like him this week.
Can I just say something, though? So both of you guys, and I'm going to bring it to AP in a sec, but both of you guys have talked about Brooks. What is the difference, honestly? I know DJ looked awful, just terrible.
Oh no! Don't talk about DJ. You're going to misrepresent the Wednesday show. No.
That's not my argument. My argument is both these guys have been bad.
No, but DJ's been
one of these guys. Worse. One of the guys is averaging 80.
Yeah, one of the guys is way worse.
And he has a win like 3 tournaments ago too.
Oh,
hey,
that's what I mean. Man.
Brooks can't putt right now.
Tony,
wait till next
week. Tony, get your boy in line.
I know. JSU, come on. This is the Wednesday show. You can't be doing this.
All right, hey, JSU, I got you.
Okay, AP.
Did you see that picture that was out on Instagram? That Brooks' problem.
That was big.
He can't putt. His focus is elsewhere right now.
Well,
I saw that picture. Yeah, his focus is way elsewhere. I'm with you on this one, AP. 100%.
Brooks has been utilizing the double-sided workbench that Tony has patented.
I guarantee he's using more than that. He's using all kinds of things in there. He might have the putter up in there tonight.
All right, we got way off the rails. AP, talk about this 9K range for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I will say, like, the thing about Brooks, 9,200, it's kind of interesting. I've been saving myself for the PGA Championship. I've been beating the drum that's the time I'm going to play him. And it is what it is. I mean, his putter looks terrible right now. But I feel like that's something that you can fix pretty quickly. Because he's not playing terribly. He's missing these like really easy putts that he should be making. Like that's his only problem. Which honestly, maybe it changes this week. He won here last year, so who knows? So this range is, kind of interesting. I think my favorite play in this range is Tony Finau. I love where his game's at. He hasn't been able to close on Sundays. Sundays have been just a disaster for him. But outside of that, his game looks phenomenal right now. And I hope 9,100 keeps people off of him just because I think, I don't know, I think something's clicked within his game. He fired his caddy. I just think maybe, he's playing a little bit more freely now. And my thing is I think he's going to book another top 10. And so at 9,100, if I know he's even going to book a top 15 at 9,100, I'm just locking him in. And that's what I think he's going to do. Now, Webb Simpson, he's just courses like this. I don't know, Bermuda, he just plays really good on them. And it's I don't know, he feels like a really safe play. I'll have a little bit of exposure to Webb. He's not actually in my main build, but Finau is. But I definitely have exposure to him. And he's obviously he's played well here. The one guy that's interesting, I should note, and I'm actually not on him, is Daniel Berger. When I saw that price, I was just like, man, I can't play him at 9,600. I believe he's won here at TPC Southwind 2 times. Obviously not in a field like this one, but he knows the course really well. I overlooked him, I'll be honest, and I'm not playing him as of right now. But he's kind of interesting. And then, part of the reason why I'm not playing him is you got Colin Morikawa right below him, and then Victor Hovland. I mentioned that I'm on guys who are just strong tee to green. And when I say that, when I talk about stats, it's just I want to see what guys are making mistakes versus other guys that aren't making mistakes. And Victor Hovland hasn't been making a lot of mistakes tee to green. And so I think he's a really interesting play. He feels pretty safe, to top 20. He's kind of had troubles closing the deal. So for me in this range, I'm going to say Tony Finau, number 1. I'm going to say Webb Simpson, number 2. And then I'm going to say Morikawa, number 3 for me.
All right, cool. So, Tony, let's bring it back to you for this 8K range. And honestly, we got some good golfers in this range. Hideki at 8.9, Reed 8.8, Fleetwood 8.7, Woodland 8.6. I could go on a little bit more. Answer at 8.4. There's a lot of golfers I think to like. What are you thinking at this range? You talked about how your construction is building to a pay up for a few studs and go down. So are these going to be some of the guys that kind of get left off?
Yeah, so 2 of my favorite guys in the whole slate are in this range. One of them is going to be pretty popular. The other one's going to be unowned. But Fleetwood's my favorite play. Right there with anyone on the slate. I'm going to have tons of Fleetwood. He sucked last week, but it was his first tournament back, missed the cut. This week, obviously, you can't miss the cut. He's just a birdie maker. If I know I get 4 rounds from Fleetwood, he's always going to be in my player pool. This week, he's a little cheaper. I think he should be up in the 9Ks and mid to high 9Ks even. I just like him a ton. I think, like I said, anytime I can get 4 rounds from Fleetwood and not have to worry about the cut at all, I'm going to play him, and I like him. And the other guy for me is Billy Ho. No one's going to play him. I know I always end up on Billy Ho too, but he's priced maybe 1,000 higher than people think he should be. He should be maybe high 7Ks. But he's got good history in this spot. I just like him. His odds are only 40-1, so he's kind of priced in this range. He's just going to be solo owned right next to Woodland, right next to Abe Answer, right next to Fleetwood. No one's going to play Billy Ho. Literally no one. And he's another guy that I like his ability to go low at times. I get 4 rounds. I don't have to worry about the cut. It's going to be the theme of all my builds this week. I'm not playing these safe guys. I'm going to play some guys that have the ability to go low for me. I like Billy Ho and Woodland too. Those are my 3 guys because I'm definitely not playing Hideki. I'm taking a hard stand on Hideki. Never playing Pat Reed. Patrick Reed does do good in tough fields though, which worries me a little bit, but I'm not playing him over these other guys. Abe Answer's a safe guy that I don't need to play. Definitely not Ricky or Day or Spieth. Sergio, maybe I could play, but my 3 guys for sure in this range: number 1, Fleetwood; number 2, Billy Ho; number 3, Woodland.
All right. AP, I'm going to bring it to you next in this AK range. So Tony just talked about Fleetwood being his favorite play in this entire range. And then Billy Ho, kind of a sneaky play in this range. Normally a guy we see in the 7K range that he loves. What are you thinking in this range? Do you agree or disagree with any of the guys that Tony liked?
Yeah, I agree a lot with Gary Woodland. I think Woodland is one of the better plays on the slate by far. We got a 5th place finish from him at the Workbench Charity Open, and 22nd at the
those are the guys we like, right?
Those are all Gary. Gary. That's what he's about. I mean, what I like about him is his approach game is phenomenal right now. Like if you want to target. Like the best golfers in the world have the best approach games. Like just look at Colin Morikawa right now. He has like one of the best approach games. Like everyone, like it is a consensus. Everyone agrees with him. His approach game is top 5 in the world at least right now. And Gary Woodland's up there too, and it's looked really good lately. So I'm going to go back to Gary. He's my favorite play in this range by far. Tommy Fleetwood is right after him, and so I got those flip-flop where Tony has him ranked number 1. I don't disagree. Like, it's Fleetwood. He's priced way too low. He's a phenomenal golfer. And last week was a strange week. I would not factor last week's results into this week's at all. That was a birdie fest. Any of those guys can play well. It comes down to putting. It just, it is what it is. And so I would discount that. It was a nice warm-up round for him. I think Fleetwood's going to be an awesome play this week, 8,700. Definitely a guy to get overweight on. And then my other guy, who I got number 3, is another guy who's just been hitting the ball extremely well right now, but his putter is just broken. The guy can't make a putt to save his life, and that is Sergio Garcia at 8K. He is like the best. If you look at just his ball striking, his tee to green, all of those stats that I like that T hates, they're phenomenal. He just can't putt. Like every part of his game is just looking really good right now. His putter's looking bad. And, all it's going to take is an average round of putting, from him to contend in an event like this. And I think we could see that this week. So I got it ranked Gary number 1, Fleetwood 2, Sergio 3.
Awesome. All right. Bringing it to you now in this AK range. Both these guys like Gary Woodland, Fleetwood. Are you in agreement that those are 2 of your favorite plays in this range, or do you have a disagreement and you like someone else?
Yeah, it's a funny range for me because it's some of my favorite guys to roster on a weekly basis, and guys that I fade every single tournament no matter what are all in this range. Obviously not playing Patrick Reed. I disagree with Tony on Horschel. I'm not paying 8.5 for Horschel. I think he will be owned too, so gives it even more reason to not play him. Fading Fowler, fading Day. Will never play Jordan Spieth. Still deciding on Garcia. I gotta see, but he would be one guy that I have some interest in. Now the guys that I really like, I think Fleetwood's probably the best play on the board. Really, really like him at 8.7K. Agree with what Tony said. He's just too cheap. Like he belongs in that low to mid 9K range. Like he's good. I mean, the only reason he's down here is because that missed cut last week and it was his first tournament back. We were on him quite a bit last week. Obviously didn't work out. Just going back to him, just take advantage of this price break. With so many guys priced up, Fleetwood is a guy to me that's priced down. So he's probably my favorite. Definitely going to play Woodland. Answer I like at 8.4K has just been steady, kind of fell apart at the Memorial like a lot of guys. So going to give him the free pass on that. I mean, outside of the Memorial, he's playing phenomenal. 14th, 2nd, 11th. And he was fine at the Memorial until the last round. I think like 7 or 8 over. So, but a lot of guys did that. The conditions were really tough. So going to give him the free pass, and I'll go back to him at 8.4. Then Hideki, I actually do like him at 8.9K. Not sure what the ownership's going to be on him, but man, like he's a guy that can, hit that switch and his game's right back on point. So I'm going to definitely have some Hideki as well this week.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely a streaky guy. So let's bring it to the 7K range, guys. And Tony, I'm going to start with you here. Now, I would assume then this is the range where you won't have very much, because the 6K range, in my opinion, has a bunch of people that it's really a few 7K guys normally that we see, and they're in the 6K range. So are you off on this range really, or are there a few guys that you like?
Yeah, so I mean, I've only given like 2 guys in each range so far, 2 or 3 guys. So I don't have that many people in the player pool. Again, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a small player pool and a bunch of the 6K guys to mix in. But in this range, it's kind of more of the same. I mean, looking through the range, Paul Casey let a bunch of people down last week. He made me mad, but again, you got to have a short memory in DFS. I'm not going to have a ton of him, but I'm definitely going to play him at 7,800. He's solid. He played good last week. He just hit everything to 20 feet and then 2-putted, so he made a bunch of pars. He's close, though. I don't mind him at all. I'm not going to play Stenson or Leishman or Kuchar. I'm definitely not playing Kuchar in an event like this. Poulter, I think you have to play Poulter. I mean, he's going to be somewhat popular too, but he's a really good play, 7,400. Feels too cheap. He's just going to finish top 15 to 20 range. I don't think he'll win, so he doesn't have the win equity, but I do think he plays solid, finishes up there for you, gives you a chance to win. And then Max Homa, too, down there. I like him a ton. He looked good last week. He's been kind of talking a little bit on Twitter and different venues that I've heard that it makes me feel he's confident. He's a sneaky pick for me this week to go top 5 even, Max Homa. I don't think a lot of people will play him. Like, I'd play him over Adam Hadwin, who I think a lot of people will play Hadwin. And another sneaky guy in this range that I think is going to be completely unowned is Kevin Na. He's one of the only guys in a miscut event that could just withdraw because he withdraws like every other event. But if he plays good, he's got the ability to really throw some numbers up there. And again, that's what I'm kind of going with the riskier options this week, guys that can go low. So I think I got 4. I mean, Sung Jae, that's another victory lap we'll take on the Wednesday. Like, he's just not very good. People might come back to him a little bit at 7,500, but I can't even imagine playing Sung Jae.
What's his price, Tony?
74. What was he the one week when Mangone was like, Sung Jae
9,900 or something?
Mangone's got to take the L on Sung Jae. Ever since he lost the Band-Aid on his ear, things have gone downhill a little bit for him.
Now, I have a question for you. Now, last week you caved and played Scotty Scheffler. This is a no-cut event.
Yeah, I'm not playing Scotty Scheffler this week.
That was like the weirdest. That was the weirdest thing of the PGA season. Tony getting
and he
on
did
Scheffler,
good for me though. He came through.
That was.
I mean, he did make
bizarre.
He came through.
He did okay.
He's not going to be in my player pool this week, though. I'll tell you that.
I'm proud of you. All right. So, Max Homa is an interesting call. And then Kevin Na, I saw some interesting matchup props on him. So I do like that call a lot. Who take it to you now, 7K range. I'm assuming that Ian Poulter is probably your favorite play in this range. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, I mean I've always been a Poulter guy, and these are the sort of events where I like him even more. Loaded fields, tougher type course, grinded out type course. He has 4 rounds, so Poulter is my favorite. I'll have some Casey. Yeah, I kind of agree with Kuchar. I haven't completely ruled him out yet, but he's just not an exciting play this week. I mean, I think he'll have some ownership. He's a name at 7.6K. So I think people will be on him. Definitely not going with Na. Like, I've never played Na, and it's never really hurt me, so I'm not going to change my stance on him. Neiman, I think, is interesting. A guy I kind of like at par 70 courses. I think he can compete here. So I might have some Neiman, Hadwin, Homa. Last 2 guys I'll be playing. I've been on Homa since the restart, and it has not been very enjoyable, but he kind of rewarded us last week. If you stayed on him, he kind of paid it off last week. I agree with Tony. I think he has a chance to make some things happen here. No cut event. He's a birdie maker, so I definitely like him.
But if you had to rank, would Ian Poulter be your number 1 play?
Yeah, I go Poulter. I'd go Paul Casey, and then I'd go probably Homa.
All right, AP. What are you thinking in the 7K range?
Yeah, I agree with these guys. I'll go out there and say I think Max Homa is the best play in this range. We've seen this guy. He's real streaky. When it's bad, it's really bad with him. Like, you're talking multiple missed cuts in a row. When it's good, I mean, the guy just kind of catches fire, and you have to love that he's chirping on Twitter. He's talking about his game. He enters this event now. It's a no-cut event, stress-free, coming off a third-place finish last week at the 3M Open. Everything about his game looked really strong. I think he has a lot of momentum to carry in, and I think both of the Big T and Hoop, are both high on him as well. And I like that sneaky call, maybe top 15 or something like that. And you're going to need one of these guys. If we go this stud and this true stud and value approach, you're going to need a guy like Holman to get you that top 10 to help you win this week. And so I think he could be one of those guys. I agree with Joaquin Niemann. I think he's like a safe play. You know what you get when you're rostering him. He's a good ball striker. He's pretty safe tee to green. He can just really struggle putting, and it could just be really frustrating. The other guy I like in this range is Corey Connors. He just grades out really well for me right now. And I agree. I think when you look at Hadwin being cheaper than Connors, I think Hadwin could get some traction, and I'd rather play Connors in this range. Ian Poulter, I don't have anything to add. I think he's a very strong play in this range, and I think he's definitely fine. And Kuchar's the guy. He just seems cheap, and who knows? Like who really knows where his game's at right now? But one thing, if you look at the Vegas odds, I mean, at least when they initially came out, they're pretty attractive on Kuchar relative to the other guys in this range, and so that's one reason why I might have a little interest in him. But how I'm going to rank it, I'm going to rank Max Homa number 1. I'm going to rank my number 2 guy is going to be Poulter, and then I'm going to say Joaquin Niemann number 3.
All right, cool. So now we get to the best range, and we all know why it's the best range, because my boy Buzenhout is back in this range, in this field. He's right behind me. I'll have him in my lineup, probably my main team again, just because I'm a donkey. But
how'd you find a picture of him?
Oh, I found one. It was easy. You just go on the old Google search and search
type in Buzenhosen, and he popped up.
Well, if you spell it that way, then there's no way you're finding a picture of him. But all right, Tony, since you started talking, why don't you start talking about the 6K range? Tell me your thoughts. I see Streel Daddy up in this range. Talk about him a little, and then anyone else you like.
Yeah, so I'm going to live in this range, 2, maybe even 3 guys below 7K in a lot of my teams, just because I want as many big guns as I can in my lineups. And I honestly don't mind a lot of these guys. I feel like a lot of these guys could top 15 for me, and that's all I really need if I got 2 or 3 guys up top that could finish 1, 2, 3 type thing. One more guy, too, and this just because I see him sitting there at 7K. The dude that won last week, Michael Thompson, he's going to be like 2% owned or something crazy. Like no one's going to play him. I'll at least have a little sliver of Michael Thompson. He looked good. No one's going to play him. It's more of an ownership play. Like he was crying on the camera. Like it just meant so much to him that who knows, maybe he rallies a little bit and gets hot again. Definitely not going to be on my main team. This is a Millie Maker type play, but it's going to be 2% owned. I'll have a little bit, but now to get to the good plays, RCB at 6,900 might be. I mean, he's as close to my favorite play as there could be for this range.
God, you love RCB.
He's a big game hunter too. Like I like him in these big events where I always feel like he crushes, and he's going to be on. The good part about this whole range, for the most part, all of them are going to be low owned. For the most part, like RCB can't be higher than like 5%, 6% owned. And he's just a big game hunter. I want to play him when I get 4 rounds. He's a guy I could see finishing top 10. So, yeah, I like him. Streel Daddy, 6,900. I don't know how you wouldn't play some Streel Daddy at 6,900. He's cheap. He can make birdies. He can top 10. He's just too cheap. Like, all these guys in this range feel too cheap to me. RCB, I'm definitely not playing EVR. We've kind of been – all of us at Run Pure really have been off the EVR train. He just hasn't done it any of the weeks, so we've been right about it. Not getting on him. Definitely not playing shitty-ass Buzenhosen. I mean, I as a matter of fact, I'm Xing him off right now just so I don't have to look at him anymore.
How could you do that? How could you do it to my guy?
God, he
God,
sucks.
I played Ann that 1 week just for you.
First of all, hold on a second.
God.
You made fun of my name pronouncing
whatever.
the one show, and you keep calling the dude Benny Ann. His name's not freaking Benny Ann. It's Benny On. No wonder he doesn't
Until
win.
he plays well, he's Benny Ann. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
Until he plays well, he's Benny Ann.
I mean,
God.
freaking Benny Ann.
Talk about this 6K range and friggin' Benny Ann.
Is that it, Tony? You done there?
I mean, I could name off 10 more dudes, but go ahead.
You want me to take over?
Yeah, take over for a minute.
Gotcha. All right. So it's never fun to agree with Tony, but man, I love RCB. Like he's a guy in these loaded fields that I like to get on. Like he's the top 15 is definitely in the realm of outcomes here. Like I think he's a phenomenal play at 6.9K. So I'll definitely be on him. EVR I think is a great fade. If someone in the chat brought him up, I'm not playing EVR here. Like no, thank you. He's been awful. I was glad. Like it's so. When was that? Is that 2 weeks ago? Was that last week when he was like the most popular player on the board? It was last week, right? Yeah, it was last week. Like man, to me, that was like the easiest fade of all time. Like I did not get that. I mean, obviously it's easy to say in hindsight, but we were on it ahead of time, fading him, and obviously it worked out really well. Definitely not going back to him in a birdie fest. Or not a birdie fest, but in a loaded field. Come down a little bit. Starts to get juicy. Zon Wiesberger last week, going right back to him at 6.5K. Like he's a good golfer. He's 6.5K. Like he's proven he can contend. Like really like him. Benny On, I'll be on at 6.5K. I mean, think of some of the price tags people have played Benny On at. Like people have played him in the 9K range, 8K range. He's 6.5K. He can make a lot of birdies. Like I'm definitely playing him. Come down a little lower. I have interest in Tom Lewis at 6.2K. Cameron Champ's probably my favorite down here at 6.2K. Joel Damon at 6.2K. Definitely play him. Really like Nick Taylor at 6.1K. Like if you play a couple of these guys in the lineup, like you can literally just absolutely stack the top. And, that's why I kind of like all the guys at the top, because I can easily play them with these guys in the 6K range who I feel pretty good about. At these no-cut WGC events, you frequently see the leaderboard absolutely flooded with big names, and it's typically a big name that wins these things. So why not get as many of them as you can in your lineup? So that's the logic I'm going with this week. And just to make it even sweeter, like I actually like these guys at the bottom quite a bit. So it makes it easy for me the direction I'm going in terms of lineup construction. And one other thing I will mention is it's human nature for people when they build PGA lineups to automatically go to that mid-tier and go with a balanced build, because you can play a guy like Casey and Kuchar and Answer and Woodland, and you don't have to go down to this bottom range. It's like uncomfortable to go to this bottom range, so most people don't. And the balanced builds are always more popular, even in these no-cut events. And it's just the wrong way. I mean, it's plain and simple, the wrong way to build lineups. So it's absolutely the wrong way to build lineups in these no-cut events, especially in tournaments. Like you want those guys at the top that have the big win equity. And it's easy to do this week, like I said, because for me personally, it's easy to do because I feel comfortable with a lot of these guys down here in this 6K range.
And real quick, Hoop, just for the people, and I don't want you to give too much information, but you talked about that type of build, and you said mainly for tournaments. You're a big cash player, though, too. In cash, specifically with the construction, are you still looking to have that build where you have the top studs and then you punt one or two positions? I don't want you to give too much information, but tell me what you would do.
When I'm building in these no-cut events, like I want as many chances to have the winner in my lineup as possible. So like I want guys that can win the golf tournament. So yes, if that means going down to the 6K range in cash games, like I'm fine with it, because I want to have guys in my lineup that can win the golf tournament. And like I don't think a guy like Kuchar can win the golf tournament this week. So like to me, if I deciding between Kuchar and going all the way down to 6K and upgrading somewhere else, that's definitely what I'll be doing this week.
Perfect. All right, AP, let's bring it to you. What are you thinking here in the 6K range? Are you in agreement with these guys that you really like this range? And then who do you like if you do?
I got a big disagreement. I mean, RCB, a big game hunter, there is literally nothing about that guy that makes him a big game hunter. I mean, if you go back and look at that guy, like he has, like I can't even remember the last time he's finished top 10 in an event. And so here's what I'm going to say. So here's the thing with Eric Van Ruin. And we called him Ruin last week, ruining your lineups. We said to fade him. It was a birdie fest. You don't play this guy in a birdie fest. You play him in tough fields where it's a fairly difficult golf course where he has to grind it out. He is the definition of a big game hunter. He has an 8th place finish at the PGA, 17th at the Open. Like he smashes these WGC events, 22nd, 3rd in Mexico. He was 22nd at the Memorial this last a few weeks ago. Like, he is literally the definition of a big game hunter, and I actually like him. I'm extremely overweight on Eric Van Ruin this week. I faded him last week. Unfortunately, I can't say I faded him at the Rocket Mortgage when he was kind of chalk. I fell into that trap. But I feel like with this guy, I feel like you got to play him in these tough events, and where it isn't a birdie fest, where grinding out pars, taking the birdies when they come. That's the type of course that fits his game. So I'm definitely in a disagreement. So I'm not playing RCB. I am playing a lot of Eric.
Do we get a rebuttal this week? Do we get RCB rebuttal?
Yep.
All right, rebuttal on RCB. I'll speak on behalf of me and Big T. The last WGC in Mexico, he finished top 15. Like, I'll take a top 15 here. 6.9K. Top 15 in the tournament.
He's got a 4th at the British Open, a 4th at the Players. Like, that's not big game hunting.
It's a little game hunting.
I mean, that's
that was a quick 180.
Two top 5s in majors is big game hunting.
Yeah, talk about the rest of this.
I'll give you that. He's tilted me so bad. And but I do like Eric Van Ruin. Like, it is what it is. I'm following a trend that I like.
All these guys in this range, though, like, I don't hate EVR in this range. Like, they get 4 rounds. So, I mean, I think we can all agree that we want to live in this range a little bit.
I got the anti-workbench play. Like, this is definitely the anti-workbench play. I know, but he makes a lot of sense. It's Ches Reavie. Like, when you think of this guy, it's like, how boring can you get with Ches Reavie? But he's played phenomenally. Like, he has not lost strokes in any category over the last 2 or 3 weeks that he's played. I mean, in any of the major, stats that I look at, I know I look at stats. It is what it is. But his game's strong, and I feel like when you look at just a solid guy, tee to green, he could be one of those guys that just gets me maybe like an 18th or 22nd, type of finish that does just enough if my studs get there and win for me to push me over the top to give me that W. So I have a little interest in Ches Reavie. Then it's there's a lot of interesting plays down here. Like Nick Taylor, I think, was talked about. Cam Champ, he just bombs it off a tee. We get 4 rounds of him. He's kind of interesting. But I feel much safer with with some of these guys up where Streel Daddy's at. Streelman 6,900. And so I don't know. It's going to be definitely an interesting range for me. I don't know how deep I'm going to dive. I felt like I didn't need to go down to the Nick Taylors in that range. A lot of my builds when I got done making them ended with Eric Van Ruin and Ches Reavie and Streelman range. So I'm going to stick with those guys, and I'm going to say EVR, my favorite play in this range, number 1. I'm going to say Streel Daddy 2 and Reavie 3.
All right, cool. So now, guys, I'm going to ask you guys your your
favorite. I haven't
favorite.
finished talking about this range, actually. I like a few.
Oh,
guys.
you haven't? Oh, I'm sorry.
I started drinking, and then Hoop was giving winners, and I got sidetracked. Like, I didn't get to talk about my guys in the lower range.
All right, well, hit him up. Let's go. Give me the secret of
Benny,
a couple weeks ago.
Should I call him Benny Ann or Benny On? Like,
God, will you just
he has
call
let
him
me down, so maybe I need to call him Benny Ann. I mean, maybe
you should call him Benny Ann, because then he's going to come through for us as Benny Ann, and then we'll call him Benny On.
I'm going to call him Benny Ann because he let me down twice and he hurt my feelings. So I'm going to come back and call him Benny Ann. But I get 4 rounds, birdie maker. He can go as low as anyone. Again, I have to play him. I have to play him in this. But one guy that I have shit on the whole year that I've made fun of that I never play. I've probably never played him in my life. However, he's freaking 6,400 where he was 8K and he was chalk. He's the perfect example of a guy down in the low range is my worst guy that I'm fine with. Brant Snedeker. Like, I don't like him.
Wait
I've never
a
played him.
second. Hold on, Tony.
He's 6,400.
He was like 7K, and you gave me so much crap
he was
for
like
even bringing him up
7,800
one day.
He was gone.
That's
He was
like
7,200, Tony.
Brant Snedeker is like the anti-workbench play for sure.
I can't believe Tony said his name.
It reminds me of the Scheffler play. Honestly, like I vomited a little in my mouth as I was looking at it. But, I mean, the dude is 6,400. Like, he's got to be better than Nick Taylor as far as just golf.
Can I bet on that?
There's no way you would take that action, Nick Taylor versus Snedeker.
I've watched Snedeker golf a lot over the course of the last few weeks.
Yeah, but you watched him as a 7,600 golfer, not a 6,400.
It's the same
Anyways,
thing.
not to get sidetracked about this, but I like Snedeker. Keegan Bradley's another guy. Like these guys in this range, I'm just going to play them. And the Millie Maid, like Keegan Bradley, yeah, he sucks a lot of the time, but you get 4 rounds of him. It's almost like showdown format. That's why the no cut kind of works for me, because you just say this dude sucks. Like Keegan Bradley sucks the first 3 rounds and then somehow on Sunday shoots 62 or something. That could lead to you winning a ton of money. You just get 4 guaranteed rounds. I don't know how else to say it. You can play Rory and Bryson and JT and all the guys at the top. Play Keegan. I don't like it. Just fits for me. So I like this no cut thing because I'm comfortable with all. Even Mackenzie Hughes has been good all season, and he's just so cheap. I don't mind playing these guys. I like these guys. I'm fine with it. I mean, people aren't going to be like Hoop said. Hoop said it best. People love going in that mid range, finishing their builds with guys like Ian Poulter as their worst guy. However, they're starting. Their best guy is in the 9Ks, where our best guy is up top. I'm going stars and scrubs. Like that's just what I want. I'm fine playing 2 of these guys too. Seriously, like even Snedeker and Nick Taylor together, I'm fine with it. I really am. To be able to get 2 studs up top, that's what I'm doing.
That was perfect, because that was going to be my next question to you. Was, are you going to play 2 of these guys in the 6K range? So I'm going to ask AP and Hoop. AP, I'll start with you. Are you going to build where you have 2 of these 6K guys, or are you keeping like the limit to only 1?
Yeah, I initially wanted to end up with 1 6K guy, but I found it kind of hard, especially since I'm really overweight on like Finau and the best golfer in the world, Justin Thomas. If I want multiple guys up there in my build, it's just you got to play down in that 6K range. And that's where, for me, like I feel like Max Homa is a really interesting play, because I can get 1 6K guy and a Max Homa, and I can make it work by getting 2 guys up top, and I can get Gary Woodland, right there in the middle, and the build looks pretty nice. And so I have a bunch built like that. I'm probably going to stick with it. The other thing about this week is I kind of dial back, and it kind of fits perfectly. JSU, we got NBA coming tomorrow. MLB has just been awesome. Hopefully it continues to run, but there's a lot going on, sports wise. And so I usually dial back like half volume this type of week in a no cut event. So I'm not going to get too crazy. And I'm just going to stick with what I have. So I'll probably be ending with the 6,700 range, but I'm not maxing the milli or anything like that. So if I was, I definitely would be dabbling down further below.
So you don't mind playing 2 guys in the 6K range in your lineup?
No, not at all. Like, especially not like in a milli type structure. And even, it's a no cut event. I mean, you're relying on birdies, and I think Big T has a good point about Benny On. I mean, the dude can he can absolutely shit the bed, but he can absolutely, fire a really low round too. So it makes it interesting for sure.
All right, yeah. Hoop, I assume that your answer to playing 2 6K guys is going to be a thumbs up, but do you agree that it's a play in the millies and stuff like that?
Yes, I mean, I'm not saying like every no cut event you need to go and play 2 6K guys and get to the top. Each event,
but in this event that's
what I'm getting at. So like, you have to make sure you feel comfortable with the plays, and I feel comfortable with the plays right down there in that 6K range. When the week's all said and done, it could be the wrong move. Don't get me wrong. I mean, those 6K guys, 90% bust down there. very, very possible. But I feel good with a couple of these guys having more than a couple of these guys having a good enough week. And then, like the other thing we talked about is like these WGC events, like the top golfers in the world typically win. And the history proves it. I mean, it's almost every single time a top ranked golfer in the world wins these events. So I want as many of those guys as possible. So the only way to do that is to go ahead and get down in the 6K range. And I feel comfortable with a lot of those guys like we've talked about. So my answer is definitely yes.
All right. So, guys, we're getting to kind of the end of the show. If you guys want to see more free content, please hit that thumbs up. Really helps us out, pump out this free content for you. And, guys, we got to get to the winners part. But, Tony, I don't want to just kind of take out our favorite part of the show, which is the matchups part. So I want you to pull up the matchups, and I want you to give us a few matchups, and maybe, Hoop and AP, if you guys have a few matchups that you guys like too, we can get to you guys too. But Tony, I want you to start us up. Give us, a few guys that you're looking at and what it's kind of showing you with the odds in the matchups.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I like to do on this show is kind of just go down the list and kind of just see it. It'll be good because we got extra people, obviously, this week that we can take it apart a little more and kind of see what everyone thinks. So let's pull them up real quick. I hate when you pull this up because this freaking Barracuda odds keep popping up everywhere with it. So you got to sort through it a little bit. But so we got Max Homa. This is an interesting one. I like going through these because I do think they help. I know me and Hoop have talked about it a little bit where he doesn't use it maybe as much as me. I really like it for some of them though. Like Homa and Wiesberger, similar type plays. I think Homa's a way better play, but going in, but then you see the matchups. Homa's minus 172 versus Wiesberger. That just makes me like Homa more for sure. Keep going down. This is an interesting one. Oosthuizen minus 135 over EVR. I never play Oosthuizen. I already didn't like EVR, so it kind of I don't like either one of them, so that kind of shows me that. Leishman's favorite
both out.
Poulter. What was it?
Said you throwing them both out.
Yeah, I
don't play either of them anyway, so I'm just taking them.
I mean, how could you ever play Oosthuizen? He's painful to play, but let's work down. Leishman's a slight favorite over Poulter, which is kind of interesting because I think Poulter will be pretty chalky. I mean, it's basically a coin flip, but slight favorite. You got Patrick Reed favorite over Day by a little bit. Sung Jae is a massive favorite over Willett, minus 153. Rory minus 133 over JT feels about right to me. Abe Answer favorite over Sergio. This is an interesting one to me. Fitzpatrick minus 125 over Finau. Yeah, I would think before I looked at the odds, I would feel like Finau would be favored over Fitzpatrick, but Fitzpatrick.
I know you're not going to want to read this next one.
Are you looking at the same list as me? Yeah. I'm just. Yeah. This will be good, though, to clarify, because I like talking about this stuff. That's why I like this segment. So
AP, get ready.
This is why AP always beats me, though, because of shit like this. JT minus 125 over Bryson. I always say, okay, AP, I'll take Bryson. You can have JT. And I always take the freaking dog in the match every single time. Okay, so JT minus 125. So this is my example, though. This is why I like to bring this stuff up. So JT's going to be about 15% range, 15 to 20% in there. Bryson's going to be 5 to 10%. He's only it's minus 125, minus 105, but I'm getting half the ownership. I like JT anyways. I'm playing two studs up top, so I'll definitely have some JT too, even though I said he was my fifth favorite in the top range. I expect Bryson to be a dog to all these guys, though, because the ownership even shows it. The other guys are going to get more traction than him. But let's keep it moving just so we don't go through all these. But Hovland Berger's pretty close. Kuchar's a massive favorite over Stenson. We didn't talk about Stenson. He hasn't been playing. I don't really know how you could play Stenson, and then you see him a massive dog to Kuchar. I just can't imagine playing Stenson, so the matchup shows me that.
Yeah, that's a situation where you can, if you're fading Stenson, it just makes you feel better about it. That's one of the biggest. He's one of the biggest favorites on the board. Minus 150 Kuchar over Stenson. So Stenson's he's got to be an awful player.
You guys see these Xander odds too against Webb and against Patrick Cantlay. That's pretty interesting.
What's his Cantlay one?
He's
he's 140 minus 145 over Cantlay.
Yeah.
Xander's favored over Cantlay?
Yeah, I would have to. I mean, if you can bet that, I would bet Cantlay. I mean, that's crazy. That's
how our minds work different, though. Like when I see Xander favored like that over
it makes me like him.
Instantly love Xander. Like
because every single golf person is talking of Xander. It's the only reason.
That's crazy though. The favorite over Cantlay.
He's heavy favorites to Cantlay and to Webb Simpson.
See, this is how my mind works, though.
Like, minus 140 favorite over Webb Simpson. I mean, that's
Xander's 140 over Webb too. Oh man, like so. This is how my mind works, though. This is why. So the members got mad the one week at me because I changed my whole game plan at the last second. But this is what happens. Like I see Xander with those odds. It makes me like Xander. I can't help it. That's just how I build my team.
So like, just a question. I know it might alter how you think. When you factor in that he might be the highest owned guy on the slate, what does that do for you?
Well, because I'm going to play low owned Bryson, I'm going to play low owned.
Yeah, no, it's honest. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, no. Well, that's my reasoning. So yeah, like I know this is why, and Hoop always talks about this. I like talking about this on the shows because I don't worry about ownership like ever because I know when I build my teams, I'm always going to have guys that are low owned to go with my chalk plays.
Oh man.
Like always, so I don't worry. Like if I have a few chalky guys, I want a few chalky guys. I don't want to be like Coop where all my guys are low owned. Like I need a few chalky guys in there.
Big T, wait till you get to the Hideki versus BK.
So let's work our way down. Let's keep it down so we hit all these.
Does not look good for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with taking the dog here and there. So we'll work our way down. I'm drinking here. You can't sidetrack me. I'm focused here. I'm in the zone. So this is an interesting one for me. Corey Connors, Hadwin. I mean, Connors minus 145. If I didn't look at the odds, I would think Hadwin would be favored over Connors just off the top of my. Wouldn't you guys think that, or am I off base with that?
No, I would definitely assume.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would think that.
So how much is Connors? Do you guys have the pricing up?
7.3, right?
So they're both about the same price?
Yeah.
Hadwin's cheaper. He's 72. It's 100 cheaper.
Basically the same though.
Yeah.
So it makes me like I didn't have any interest in Connors. Now, I mean, maybe I have a little more interest. And then so now another one, Streel Daddy. So Streel Daddy was what, 69? Scotty Scheffler is what, 72? In that range?
72-3. Yep.
Scheffler's 140. I don't want to play him, but I love Streel Daddy.
He's back on Scheffler. Back on Scheffler.
No, I'm not going to play Scheffler. Maybe I shouldn't be as high on Streel Daddy, though, just because Scheffler's favored over. Oh, baby. Look at so the next one. Whoo! You want to talk about what I like?
Easy. Look at his opponent. Wow. Calm down. Give him a real opponent, and it's not looking at the
price, though. You want to know who our boy Roslin hates to see it. I mean, Jordan Spieth. Billy Ho is minus 177 versus Jordan Spieth.
I saw that.
Ooh. I don't know if people just saw that, but that was the fastest I've ever seen Tony move back and forth. That was I thought you were gonna fall backwards, like literally.
Well, I can't fall backwards.
More nimble. He's more nimble.
You were literally gonna tumble. Yeah.
Vegas has Spieth as an auto fade every week too.
Yeah,
we'd love to see it.
Tony's more nimble. He's on that Peloton now.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. Did you guys hear the desk though? Just going, and the desk was getting some full wood the workbench treatment on the desk. I mean, Billy Ho minus 177. Whoo, that feels good. But Kisner, I mean, our boy RCB's I didn't even know. We didn't even talk about Kisner. How much is he?
$7K.
So he's similar price to RCB. We loved RCB. Kisner's favorite over him. I still like RCB more, but I mean, it's interesting that Kisner's 130. Kisner showed up at times too in events like this where he'll just randomly pop into a top 10. So maybe I need to look at Kisner a little more. Bubba, massive favorite over Phil. Again, Phil's a guy like I couldn't even imagine playing Phil like ever. Neiman favored over Wolf. Rory barely favored over. I mean,
that's an interesting one. See, those are the situations I look for. Guys that are priced relatively different. Man. Like Wolf's 7.9, Neiman 7.4. Neiman's a favorite over Wolf. $500 price difference. Like that. Those are the things that I kind of look for when I go through the matchups. Like to me, that makes me like Neiman even more. Like he was kind of on the radar, and now he's favored over a guy that's $500 more than him. Like I'm going to give a little boost to Neiman now.
And when you're building your teams later tonight, or you already have, like I like to leave a little note just because if you get to your last spot on your team and you can fit both of them, like you should never, in my head, this is what I do. Like I'm not saying it's right or wrong, whatever. If you could play Neiman or Wolf and one's cheaper, I just feel like Neiman's a way better play. And in like the Millie Maker, you're leaving 500 on the table where it gets you more unique on top of it. I like doing that. So I like when I see that, just like Hoop said. Rory and Rahm is basically a coin flip to me anyways. They're basically a coin flip here. I mean, either one of them, none of us would be surprised with this top range if Rory wins or Rahm wins or JT wins or Bryson wins. I mean, you guys would be shocked if Bryson wins, but if any of these top guys wins, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're all the top players in the world for a reason. Rahm, so this one's kind of interesting to me. Rahm minus 140 over JT. I would think it'd be a little closer. I mean, it feels like they should be closer. I like JT in that matchup, honestly, like plus 110 versus Rahm. I mean, I'll take my chances.
That's just got to be him coming off the win. It's always, I mean, that's the one spot where things are going to be a little bit skewed, a guy coming off a win, you know, but that's a big difference there. I don't think he definitely shouldn't be that big of a favorite.
Yeah. So we get down to the range you guys were talking about. Casey, big favorite over Nah. And then we got Xander, massive favorite, 150 over Webb. I wasn't really going to play Webb anyways, but if I saw Webb as a 150 dog, basically a 150 plus 120 dog, I just couldn't play Webb over Xander, I don't think, especially now that I see this. This was the line you were talking about, Hideki versus Brooks?
Yeah.
What's your record versus me? 7-0. You can have Hideki. I'll take Brooks. Is your record? Are you?
I don't want Hideki.
Well, okay. Yeah, like how could Hideki be fair? I might go into Run Pure Bets. If you guys haven't checked out Run Pure Bets, by the way, you got to check it out. It's free right now. A bunch of winners. I might go in and put this in as a winner because Brooks Koepka.
What's the line at?
I mean, it's 125 minus 105. I think I saw a little bit better price on DraftKings earlier where I could get plus 100 or plus 105, whatever it is, somewhere around even money, though. Hideki just hasn't looked good to me. I mean, I know he can go low. I'm usually a Hideki guy. For the last few years, I've played Hideki every event, basically. He just hasn't looked right.
Do you see a Gary Woodland against Ricky Fowler one? I'm showing Gary Woodland plus 120. Doesn't seem right.
It's minus 112 on Bookmaker, minus 118. Okay. So it's basically a coin flip on. But Woodland, Woodland over Finau
all day.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. For sure. I mean, we got tons.
Ricky's looked bad. He's not looked good. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 rounds. He's looked fine.
I like terrible. I mean, we got Xander minus Xander definitely from the beginning of the show to right now. Like these Xander lines, I'm definitely going to be high on Xander. I didn't talk about these lines. Like I can't believe he's minus 145 over Cantlay. I legitimately can't believe it. So I'm going to be super high. What's that?
This is where I'm like, this is where like we're like reversed when it comes.
Our betting minds work in the opposite.
Oh no, I understand that, but I am applying this to the ownership, and I know he's going to be like
It's going to be like the same ownership though.
Not as he's
there's
not.
So many
not
guys in this 9K range though.
They're all going to be.
He's going to be the highest owned out of all of them.
Well, like I was going to be 18 instead of 14 or something.
Well, but then I'm saying like, okay, if he's going to get to close to 20% owned, that means like Cantlay and Webb Simpson, that's gonna dig right into their ownership, and they're going to be much lower. They could.
I think Webb will be the low owned one.
Yeah. So like for me, like I like Webb like on DraftKings. I like Cantlay on DraftKings like more than Xander for sure. And I don't factor in ownership a ton. I really don't. But when guy like last week, like Van Rooyen, like I see Van Rooyen's going to be 20% owned. Like no, there's like no way. Like I'm off. I'm gonna like pivot.
Is he going to be that high?
Who?
Who'd you say, Van Rooyen?
Oh, last week I was saying
last week.
Last week.
I was like, oh man, I got to backtrack. Like he's going to be 20%. No, I got to backtrack.
He's not going to be 20. I don't know. Like I like Webb. That makes me like Webb and Cantlay. So yeah, we kind of think a little bit differently when it comes to that.
I mean, I agree with the ownership though. Like, I don't care about ownership either, but I mean, the same thing with freaking Bryson. Like, if I know that he's going to be 5% and the other dude's going to be 20, sure, I know he's a dog. Like, he's probably not as good a play, but with the ownership, I mean, I agree with you. But let's keep moving on. Fleetwood minus 140 versus Hatton. Again, that's kind of what we talked. Isn't Hatton like high nines, right?
Yes. Yeah, he's 9-7.
In Fleetwood, this is exactly the point we made when we talked about Fleetwood, though. He's 8,700 or whatever he is in that range. I don't have the prices up, but we said he should be high nines, which is where Hatton is. Fleetwood's 140. It kind of reminds me of the Rahm week where Rahm was underpriced. On the Wednesday show, we said Rahm's 1K underpriced. We didn't even get heavy on him because we're donkeys sometimes and we overthink stuff, but he was 1K too cheap. I mean, that's how I feel about Fleetwood this week. He's 1K too cheap. Take advantage. Hoop said he's the best play. I kind of think he might be the best play. I like him. Hovland and Morikawa. Morikawa minus 140. I liked him over Hovland. I still like him over Hovland. The minus 140 only makes me like it more. Morikawa, a big favorite over Berger. So kind of the two guys, Xander and Morikawa, are kind of the two matchup guys that stick out as far as good plays.
What are you doing with Hovland?
I'm just fading him. I like him, but I mean, there's just too many good guys. Is anyone playing Hovland?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy I was torn on, and I wanted to be convinced to play him, and you guys really didn't convince me to play him. So I think as it stands, I'm going to be off Hovland. I think all of us have been riding him since the restart for the most part, and it's been a fun ride, but this might be where the train stops for me on Hovland.
AP and JSU, do you guys like him?
Yeah, I'm not on Hovland. I like Morikawa better. I like Fleetwood, even in the bottom, 8-7. Like I'm going to go Fleetwood over him, so I'm not on him.
Yeah, you got to plant flags. Like I like him on paper, but I kept landing on Tony Finau. So I don't hate him, but I did not play him just to be transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all like him. Like we all like him as a golfer. He just so happens to be in a loaded field. He just isn't quite priced right. It just shows you how DFS works. Like if he was 8,500, I think we'd all like him. It's just he's kind of in that range with guys that are slightly better than him. But none of us would be surprised if he top threes or is in contention. Exactly. It's just how DFS works.
Yeah, and that's the problem with this week. There's like 30 guys you can say that exact same thing about. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up top threeing or even winning it this week. That's what makes this week tough. But I mean, you have to take the stands though. Don't just play a guy to get exposure to him. You gotta cross some guys off the list and move on. And it's not going to feel comfortable because, like Tony just said, like, all right, yeah, we're leaning towards crossing off Hovland, but hey, when it comes Sunday evening and Hovland's sitting in third place or second place, like that's a very realistic outcome, and it's not going to feel good.
So I mean, we could talk about this all night too, because I feel like that's why a lot of people end up in the mid-tier build too, though, because you can play Hovland and Morikawa and Xander and these guys in Fleetwood and these guys in the middle and Woodland, and all of a sudden then you end in the guys like Poulter, where we're going to play the guys up top and the guys in the bottom where we don't really have the ability to play Hovland, where Hovland could end up. I mean, what do we think? He ends up he probably ends up 10 to 15% owned in that range, kind of with the other guys, where he just doesn't fit with the build we're trying to do, which just to explain, you got to take stands. You can't play everyone.
Yeah.
But let's keep moving on. Rory's a big favorite over basically everyone at the top, which is kind of why we all feel good about him. He hasn't been great on paper, but the matchups like him, the odds like him. Like Hoop said, he was the number one. Now he's not. I mean, how could you not like Rory a little bit? But Rahm, big favorite over Xander. The top guys are clearly better plays than the 9K range, too, just according to the odds. Rahm, big favorite over him. Bryson, big favorite over Cantlay, which is kind of interesting because, like I just said, Bryson's a big dog to the other big guys, but Bryson's also a favorite to the high 9, low 10K range.
Those are starting to get into the round one matchups, by the way.
Oh, did I see? You're catching up with me drinking. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you said that because I would have just kept going. You would have.
I think that was only the second one.
That would
We caught.
have been good if
Was there
Tony
two
spent
of them?
10
What was
minutes
the other
talking
one?
about the round one.
Oh, right.
No, that was just the
See,
second
you
one.
gotta watch me when I'm drinking. You gotta keep me in line.
I mean, they're pretty
All right,
on par. I mean, they're pretty on par with the overall tournament ones, but some are a little bit different.
Don't be getting my bag. You're allowed to make fun of me. I was just going on there.
I'm done. I like making funny. I like making funny about the double-ended workbench and that sort of stuff.
Put the drink down.
Gotta get our winners going.
Put the drink down. What do you mean put the drink down?
You need to when you start reading off the wrong list. Like
so during the COVID, like we were drinking every night. I haven't drank as much lately. I mean, I'm probably still 4 or 5. Like I'm feeling good right now.
I invite Big T up to the lake. I basically had to force booze down his throat.
No, stop. No, don't be lying.
The dude wouldn't even freaking drink. Dude.
I've agreed with a lot that you've said tonight.
He wouldn't crack his bottle of wine until like 10 o'clock at night. Hoop was about 20 beers deep, and Big T's finally cracking his bottle of freaking wine.
Did I not catch up?
I don't know. Did you?
No, don't be lying. Stop.
The one night
You're just making stuff up now.
Big T left me in the basement by myself.
Just because you drink like who drinks beer? Like you just
drink everything.
Drinking Bud Light.
I drink everything: Bud Lights, White Claws, liquor,
whiskey. That's what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah, I do them all. He knows that. He knows. He's just trying to save face now.
No, you were lying. I drank plenty when we were there. Stop.
So Tony's not a beer
drinker. He's a speed drinker. So he'll crack that bottle of wine, and the bottle of wine's gone in 10 minutes. I'll give him that.
That's what it right here since the show started. It's empty.
He's a speed guy. When I'm in a lake environment, I'm a slow and steady throughout the day type guy. Tony's a speed guy.
Tony, my best friend actually owns a wine company, so we can talk about this after.
Yeah,
if you're that big into wine, we'll talk
about
it.
I've fallen in love with wine during the COVID.
There you go. We'll figure it out. But guys, we got to get to the winners. This is the best part of the show because we picked.
When do we get to the NBA portion? We got NBA tomorrow.
We can get to the NBA. Let's
we gotta talk some NBA or something here.
They didn't tell you we're going the 24-hour marathon right to the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just run right into the games tomorrow.
All right, well, let's pick it up. Let's go. So
we gotta go winners first. We're gonna start off. Get the freaking golf done first.
Yep. So we're gonna start off with the winners, guys. How we do it on the Wednesday show. And AP, I'll start with you.
How come AP gets to pick first?
Because I said AP gets to pick first, all right?
Be a nice host, man.
Okay, AP, go first.
Me and AP are guests. I mean, treat us with a little respect. I mean, come
on. Exactly.
I'm trying to treat everyone fairly here, all right?
If we ever bring you guys to the Tuesday show, like we'd extend the same thing, guest first. Like if you invite
me, and I'm not going to extend the same courtesy to you, Hoop, right now, all right? Apparently, I'm the Khabib of DFS, by the way. Shout out.
No, they don't know how soft you are. You're not no Habib. You're so soft. Like, come on.
I read it.
Who said that?
I appreciate that.
Who said that?
No, it's in the chat. Go find
out.
But
Nick Wonder is not winning the gear tonight.
Incorrect. Nick Wonder, I'll send you the gear that I got. If you're a medium and you gotta, I'll send you mine. All right.
I still like my side of the fight. JSU Big T fight.
Oh my God.
JSU. I have
JSU all day.
Hey, for anyone watching, we'll be the winners in like 15, 20 minutes. Wait it out.
We just went off the rail.
The dude weighs 120 pounds.
I have JSU.
My shaft weighs more than JSU.
I might take JSU also.
Oh no.
Look at those biceps, Tony. Look at those biceps.
Tony, I'm sorry. You wouldn't last 5 minutes. You would not last 5 minutes.
5'2",
you wouldn't hit me.
What are you going to tap me out?
That's longer than Tony on the workbench. So.
Tony, you wouldn't hit me. You wouldn't even be able to touch me. I would literally just run circles around.
Are you going to run laps around the freaking ring?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, in and out.
You weigh 120 pounds.
You. I would pound.
I shipped the gear out today. You signed up for extra small. Like I'm not scared of extra small.
It's extra small.
Extra
Get
small.
out of here.
I'm not scared of extra small.
Medium. I said medium. God.
Oh, it's probably
I said
been like
medium, Tony.
fourth
You know
grade
it.
since I've worn medium anything.
God. Well, hey, I am five.
Tony's
I'm
out.
like 5'6".
He's
I'm
done.
He's gone. You scared him.
45
You
pounds.
scared him. You scared him.
God.
All right, should we get to winners?
Yeah, let's get to the winners. AP, so I need 3 guys. I need you to give me someone, like a
Three
guy
guys.
way down there odds, and then like that mid-tier odds, and then someone at the top who you think's going to win.
Oh, I mean, I think Gary Woodland's going to win. So
There
that's
you
what you guys would give me. The guy I want to win is Justin Thomas, but I think Gary Woodland's going to win this week. I just, I think I don't think he's going to win a major this year, but I see him winning a big golf tournament. I think it could be, a WGC event. I like where his approach game's at, and if he gets his putter dialed in, he'll be right there.
Yeah. All right. So you like Gary Woodland. I see. Where is his odds here? So you like him at 45-1.
Yeah, those are good odds.
Do
Not
you like
bad.
anyone down here, like a long shot? Any one golfer who at a long shot that could maybe do it?
What's Max Homa at? I mean, it's definitely
Max
a long
Homa
shot.
is
He's won a golf tournament. He's won a hard
125
golf
to 1.
tournament though before. He's what?
125-1.
There you go. That's what
There you
I would
go.
take.
I love it. All right, who? Give me 3 guys if you got it. Someone, give me a long shot, and then give me someone in the mid, and then pick someone at the top who you think's going to win.
Yeah, the long shots are tough for this event just because historically the top golfers always win. I'll say down low, a guy like Poulter I think is in contention, could be in contention to win. The guy I think that is going to win this event though is Tommy Fleetwood. I said he's my favorite play on the board for DFS. I also think he's going to win this week. Disappointed last week, but just such a solid golfer, just well-rounded. I think the course fits him really well. So I like Fleetwood. And another guy like up top that I think, obviously I really like Rory. I think he has a good chance, but the guy kind of under the radar a little bit that I think has a chance to win is Cantlay. Really like him. And, for DFS, I don't think he's going to have a ton of ownership.
All right, Tony, you're up. And D's Nuts just wanted to remind you that I'm 1-0 on the hardwood as well. So you're struggling right now to take me down. I mean, I will say this, though. You picked more winners than me on this show. So I'll give you that. So you're 1-0 here, but on the hardwood where it really counts.
I mean,
you're
did we
0-1,
lose
my
AP?
friend.
What did he just leave?
It disappeared into the golf course.
He just dropped out of the
Is he
show.
going up to the green? What is he doing? Oh, man, you guys made me choke. I've been choking for like 5 minutes here. I had to mute myself because I thought I was going to puke or something. But so before I get to my winners on the PGA Tour, we got the Barracuda odds up here. My boys, Sammy Burns and Richie Wawrinski and friggin' who else is on here? All our boys are on the Barracuda.
Damn. Really?
We can get Sammy Burns 28-1. We can get Wawrinski 35-1. We can get. Let's see who else is playing this week. We got Snyder's boy Mav McNeely 50-1. All our boys are playing the Barracuda, but
That's a solid field.
it's not bad. Does DK have contest for this puppy?
No.
AP, where'd you go?
Go to the bathroom, man. We've been
The
on this forever.
bathroom?
That's why he's pushing for the winners.
We polished off a bottle of wine before we.
I was wondering why you were pushing for the winners so quick and not enjoying
It was. Oh man, I was.
He's ready for the
Sheets
sheets.
together.
the sheets. He's going to the sheets already?
Going to
No.
the curtains.
Oops,
Okay.
sheets already.
No, he's not going to the sheets yet. I mean, Hoop goes to the sheets earliest. Hoop definitely is in the sheets the earliest of the four of us.
I'm not going to put up a fight on that statement. I do agree with you there.
So I'm going to pick. How many winners did we pick? 3?
Are you kidding me?
I wasn't
Three.
listening.
He's new to the show. He's new to
How
the
long have
show.
we done this show?
How many? It's always 3 for us, but I didn't hear. Did they pick 3?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, I'm picking 3
I
too.
picked 2, I guess.
You picked 2. Who's your third then?
Oh man, do I need a? So I picked Gary Woodland, and then I picked Max Homa.
You stole my Max Homa pick.
Yeah, you picked them.
We can share that one.
Okay, well, I like Sharon. I'm good with that.
I like Sharon.
Yeah,
AP, you got a third?
Get you one more pick. Who'd pick? Tell me who picked.
I got my third. I'm gonna say Sergio Garcia.
Whoa, Sergio.
Sergio.
So you got Sergio, Homa, and who?
Gary Woodland.
You don't. What about JT?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I would take him every week. You guys know I love him.
Why do you take him then? You get 3 picks.
Because he's like an auto different.
pick. But if he wins, you don't get credit for it if you didn't pick him. You want him? You still got time.
No, I'm gonna say those 3 guys.
Okay,
I picked them enough.
Tell Tony
who's Hoop got?
Because he didn't listen to you.
I got Cantlay, Fleetwood, and Poulter.
It's a double.
Poulter? You got Poulter to win the tournament?
I mean, I don't think Poulter is going to win the tournament, but I was following the rules in which I had to pick a low range golfer to win the tournament, so I picked Poulter.
Okay, let me work my way. I'm picking Xander for sure. Xander's my first pick at 18-1. What is he on DraftKings?
Just following all the chalk guys.
98.
Xander.
Is that
what?
Oh, you talking about?
No, I mean
the
the win odds.
He's like 10-1.
The captain wants us to talk about the PGA Championship.
No, he's 20-1. No.
Yeah, 20-1.
Yeah, I'm taking Xander 20-1. I'm taking. Let's see if I can find a long shot for you guys.
I'll tell you who you're taking. You're taking RCB.
No, I'm not taking him to win. He can't win.
Billy Horschel. Take Horschel. There you go.
Big game hunter.
Man, Horschel though just doesn't have good odds.
Take Horschel. There you go.
Oh, he's 50-1. I'm taking Horschel. You're right. Billy Ho at 50-1.
Yeah, and then
I got Xander 20-1. Billy Ho 50-1.
RCB 100-1.
I'm not taking
What's
RCB.
Benny on?
RCB can't win.
You're proving AP's point perfectly.
What? Yeah, I don't need him to win though. I only need him to take fourth like he did in those other majors, even though he's not a big game hunter. Let me see here. Poulter, you got Poulter at 90-1. He's not going to win. Man, I know I'm going in with AP. What do you mean? Me and AP together. Max Homa, 125-1, baby. Let's go, AP.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's own it.
You're not picking your boy on.
And we call him Ann on this show now.
God,
he can't putt. Max Homa
he can't putt. I see me and AP are in unison now. It only took 8 weeks, and we're in line now. He beat me. He's 7-0. He said against me in matchups. We're joining forces now.
I think it might be 4. It might be 4 picks.
We're joining forces now.
I had to exaggerate.
All right, Tony, give us your other. You picked Xander and
yeah, I got
Homa
3. I
and
got Xander, Billy Ho, and Max Homa.
All right. Well,
who's JSU got besides Christian Buzenhosen?
It's my long shot right there. I'm gonna.
You don't really think Buzenhosen can win?
No. That's not. Stop it. Will you stop throwing stuff into my words here? Really? Come on. Throwing Buzenhosen.
Got his freaking picture up behind you.
God, the guy is great. So Tommy Fleetwood guy, I think, is gonna win.
Whoa!
Holy moly! What just happened there?
Is my internet messing up again, or was that JSU?
Whoa! What was that?
So it wasn't my internet. You guys were messing with me.
My headphones just went out and then came back in.
Your decibel level just went to about 2,000.
Who did he pick? Because that might be the winner.
Yeah, that could be. That's a sign.
My headphones literally just went out. I couldn't hear you guys for like literally 20 seconds. So Tommy Fleetwood at 36-1. I like him. After that, I'd probably say Joaquin Neiman at 90-1. I'll take a shot with him. And then the long shot, God, I'm going to.
Buzenhosen.
No, I can't take it. He's not going to win. He's not going to win the tournament. I would love. I want him to win.
You got to ball up, JSU. Don't let us scare you.
You just want me to take him so you can make fun of me the next week. That's what you want. Literally what you want. I'm going to take on and
oh no, you're going to stick him to
75 to 1 because he's going to do it this week for
I
us.
like it.
I'm actually going to roster him in DFS and I'll bet him at 175 to 1. He's going to either win me money in DFS or win me money here. Well, he's going to win me money in DFS if he wins me money overall. So I'm going to take on.
I like the strategy on the show where they force you to pick cheap guys to win the tournament, then make fun of you because the cheap guys that you pick can't win the tournament.
Whoever you want. Pick whoever you want.
It's like these guys at 150 to 1. They're not supposed to win. Like
I got to circle back. No,
he's not going to win. Well, no shit, he's not going to win. He's like 150 to freaking 1 to win.
I got a guy that's
it's like us asking you who's the 3K NBA player that's going to break the slate and score 60, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy's going to score more than Harden. Like, come on.
I got it. I got a guy that's 175 to 1 on DraftKings. I'm not picking Max Homo. I like Max Homo with AP.
Michael Thompson.
I'm not going to share a pick though.
Is it Michael Thompson?
Because I got a guy 175 to 1. We're going to cut that. Mangone, cut this picture out right now. We're going to tweet it out next week. Run pure giblets, whatever. 175 to 1. Brant Snedeker's going to win this tournament, boys.
Oh man,
yes, Tony.
The guy in chat who told me, Lindsey Kelly. I'm sending you a T-shirt, Lindsey Kelly.
I'm gonna text Amber and tell her to pour out the rest of that wine.
It's already in this cup. It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh,
Brant Snedeker's going to win this tournament, boys. 175 to 1.
I can't believe that Tony is going to bet Brant Snedeker and play him in DFS. This is an interesting
man. He's
going to
win. I believe it right now. He's going to win this tournament.
I believe it right now.
I believe it right now.
All right, so I think we got through the golf. If
we got to get to NBA now.
If you guys want to talk a little NBA, I'm all in for some talk on some NBA. And I mean, let's do it. Why not? So what?
We can just listen to Tony stroke the Lakers for 20 minutes.
Tony's going to definitely stroke LeBron. No, he's a LeBron lover. He's going to stroke the Lakers.
I am too. Wait.
God.
I'll go 6 to midnight on LeBron.
Yeah. Thank you, AP. See, me and AP are in unison tonight. You guys hate to see it.
Oh, no. I can't wait until Anthony Davis goes out for the whole entire bubble with an injury. I can't wait.
What is Anthony Davis going to do? LeBron's going to bring JR to the promised land again.
God.
JR.
All right. God. All right. So let's talk about it a little bit. So let's just talk about overall. We don't have to get into like the slate, the 2-game slate, because it's a 2-gamer. Let's talk about it overall. The bubble. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we're going to see basketball, like similar basketball to what we've been seeing, prior to COVID? Do you think it's going to be a little more up pace? I think people are going to be more comfortable. It's going to be less pressure. There's not fans in the seats booing at you like LeBron. I mean, LeBron's obviously he's amazing.
I think over bets, like we talked about JSU, over bets early could be really sharp until the books adjust. I think we'll see some high scores.
Yeah, so for sure, over bets are going to be huge. But I'm just talking about from a player standpoint. It's going to be like them scrimmaging like in practice. Like they're going to be so comfortable. Shooting's going to be up. I'm telling you, like shooting percentages are going to be up for sure.
Yeah. Because
I just think people are going to be so comfortable, and it's going to be like shooting practice shots at the gym. But like, what do you guys think, Tony? Like, what do you think about the bubble?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to play more. I mean, I hate to compare it. This is a terrible comparison, but to the TBT that we watched, like it's just going to play more street ball. Like it's just going to be basketball. Like they're going to go play basketball. There's no fans. There's no anything. Like they're sitting in the bubble, hanging out all day. It's more like the college feel, like back to the AAU days where they're going to a certain city for a weekend and just hanging out and playing video games and then going and hooping later in the night. There's not the same pressures they get during the normal times with the fans and stuff. It's just going to be awesome. Like I'm excited to watch it. It's going to be, I mean, we've had 0 positive tests too for the COVID, like the last, whatever it is, week or two, because they're in the bubble. The bubble's working. I mean, hopefully knock on wood that it stays like this, because if we get all through the regular season and playoffs with no issues. The ratings are going to be off the charts. The games are even Hoop might watch. I mean, Hoop hates watching sports.
I like watching the NBA.
You're going to be loving these games, though.
How
After we've had
your
no sports
username Hoop and you hate watching the NBA? That can't be right.
No, he's going to love this.
That can't be right. So interesting, though, you brought up the TBT, and I agree with you. In the TBT, they actually saw, as they went on, they saw less and less positive tests until they got to no positive tests throughout the tournament, and then they stayed there pretty much all the way through the end. And it's a shorter period, obviously, the TBT, but still it shows that the bubble did work.
In theory, it should. The bubble should work unless they're Lou Williams and going to get some wings.
Lou Williams is going to go get some wings. So, Hoop, so what do you think about the bubble? Do you think it's going to play any different? Do you have any leans? AP was talking about the overs. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be, more street ball-ish. I think these guys are definitely going to feel more comfortable. I think the scores are going to be, higher scoring games overall, I'd say for sure. In terms of DFS, I think it's going to be tough for the first, the 8 regular season games in terms of rotations and players. You're going to have a ton of value plays. Really hope we get the news in terms of, guys who's sitting out, the starters. I hope that information is, ready, available. If not, it's going to be a disaster for DFS, but we'll obviously have all our resources on it and get the members.
People are going to fully sit out though. Like, not to interrupt you, but I don't think they're going to fully sit out. Like, I think they're just going to play limited minutes, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is the teams that are like out of contention. Like, what are they going to do? I hope all the information's kind of out there, and we're definitely going to be on it. We have a very strong NBA team, so members of Run Pure Sports will definitely have access to all the information that we gather throughout the day, and we're going to be on it in terms of like the late swaps and everything. Every single slate. I'd definitely say NBA is probably our strongest sport. I mean, I don't know. I guess I've been pretty surprised with our PGA product. I mean, our PGA product appears to be like the best in the industry. So
it's going to be tough to top the PGA stuff.
It's going to be tough to top the PGA. I mean, our PGA product, I might be a little biased and I don't want to toot our own horn, but man, it's been the strongest in the industry by far.
No, please go.
I mean, when Hoop wins $500K every week,
you can toot all you want, man.
Yeah, you're not going to win $500K every week in NBA.
But it's like, no, it's not even that though. Like the showdown content has been like just on point. Like I've had some big showdown wins that's been directly off our playbook.
Man,
Snyder's, we got our Snyder guy just absolutely smashing these showdown slates. Finds these hidden gems. Who was it? Like Robbie Shelton last week? Like he said, I like Robbie Shelton. Like, who the hell's Robbie Shelton? I'm going to play Robbie Shelton. Robbie Shelton just smashes. Not to go back to PGA, but back on the NBA, it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. If they can execute this perfectly and get all the way through the playoffs, it's going to be awesome for the NFL, I think. And they're setting the game plan in motion that all these other sports can kind of follow. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see the Clippers hold that trophy at the end of the season here.
Oh God,
me neither. Hoop. But you talked about real quick, kind of the main issue that I think is going to be with NBA DFS starting off, and that is really and truly, we don't know exactly which teams, for sure, anyways, like 100% are going to roll out the starters and they're going to play them this amount of minutes, blah, blah, blah. We don't really know all of that. Like, will the Lakers, them being clinched, there's no home
They have
court
no
advantage.
shot playing their guys for the record. There's no way.
But because there's no home court advantage, LeBron only is playing for that home court advantage.
Do not play LeBron.
These 1 seeds, 2 seeds, they don't mean anything to the Lakers. They literally mean nothing. They don't care who they play in the first round. They don't care about any of that. Now, I think a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, the Dallas Mavericks, they might care about not facing the Lakers or the Clippers in round 1. So they might play a little harder. We've already seen James Harden literally tell his coaches during a scrimmage, literally, no, I'm staying in pretty much. Like, just dude doesn't want to come out. Like, he's someone who I feel is going to play a lot. But AP, this is definitely the issue, right? When talking about NBA DFS is the minutes are going to be tough to kind of know who's going to be playing what they were playing before and who's not.
Yeah, I mean, me and you have been talking about that like all week, and that's going to be the beauty of this product that we have is, you know, me and you are talking all of us are talking throughout the day. I'm big on, if I could identify someone's minutes, I'm going to have an edge over to the next person. And, you know, because minutes, if we knew someone's minutes, we can predict what they're going to do. And you know, and that's going to be one of the difficult things. But I think we'll learn pretty quickly how these teams are going to, you know, roll out their rotations. I think some teams will see extended rotations, and I think other teams will have, you know, we'll see a lot of players in these games. We'll see 9, 10, 11 players get to play. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting for sure.
Here's the other question I have, which could complicate things. I'm assuming beat writers will not be in the bubble, right?
Definitely not in the bubble.
So how's the information going to?
There's like 2 or 3 total media.
There are media in the bubble. I don't know.
But not beat writers. Like there's
two. I don't know. Yeah, they're not beat writers. I don't think. But
that's the way we typically
in the bubble.
Yeah, that's typically the way we get our information from beat writers. If they're not there, I mean, the information. I mean, we might have some surprises. Guys that don't play or guys that you know, aren't starting. Like we're not going to have that. Once playoffs start, I think it'll be a little bit different. But like these initial regular season games, like I don't think the information is gonna be as available as we're used to.
Yeah, that is a good point. How they're going to get the information out? Are they going to have a time where I thought I saw something where they were making teams have like some type of injury designation or some type of designation for players by a certain time, all the teams, like no matter what the game or what time their game is in the day. So I don't know. That is a good question. I'm pretty sure I saw something about it. I'll have to double check on that. But I do think I saw something. Yeah, well, yeah. We've all heard that one before. So you're right about that. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting. I think also the styles of certain players are going to do really well for some players, and then some players they're not going to fit as much for the style. Because I think guys like Devin Booker, guys like James Harden, guys who can do everything are just going to absolutely, and you're going to say, oh, James Harden smashes all the time. But I just mean like Devin Booker, like these guys are going to absolutely destroy this type of thing because this is like a silent gym pretty much. They're just going to literally score at will. A ton of open threes too. A lot of the chemistry for the defense, if you watched any of the scrimmages, they're like, these guys are wide open for threes. And normally in the NBA, if you get like 1 second before a guy is on you to contest, that's a lot of time in the NBA. And you're seeing guys like I watched certain guys, literally I counted like 2 Mississippi in my head and there was still no one closing out on them as they shot the ball. Like these guys are getting wide open shots. It's telling you that defenses are not chemistry wise ready and they're still working on their rotations. So that's a big thing too. There's going to be a lot of open jumpers, I think, a lot of defensive breakdowns, which is going to cause for more fantasy points. It's going to cause for overs to hit more. But yeah, I mean, Tony, anything else about this?
No, I mean, I think it's going to be more obvious than people think, though. Like, I think the teams like the Lakers and the Clippers, I just don't really see a reason to play those guys besides maybe the scrubs. If you see a scrub that you like that'll play, like the studs, I would never play these studs because they're just not going to play minutes. Like, there's no reason. They're going to try to get a rhythm. That's all the Lakers and Clippers are going to do. They're going to try to find a rhythm going into the playoffs. They literally don't care about winning the game. They don't care about stats. They just want to find a rhythm like LeBron. But teams like Houston have announced they're basically going to play their guys like they always do. So I think, obviously, I mean, it's super obvious to me, but Houston is going to play a ton of minutes. So we should be focusing on these guys where, like the Nuggets, for example, they're going to run out this big lineup here and there because it doesn't mean anything, like you guys said. There's no home court. There's no advantage, no matter what. Sure, the matchups matter a little bit, but if you're a team like the Nuggets, you have to go through the Lakers and Clippers anyways. You don't care. They're going to run out this lineup with Bol and MPJ. And by the way, like we can talk about this for a second, but I don't think there's anything funner to watch than this Nuggets team with Jokic running the one, MPJ and Bol out there running, Plumlee out there. You got all big dudes running against all the small dudes.
We're about to get 30 minutes of T just stroking 6 to midnight the Nuggets.
You guys didn't like that? Seriously?
I mean,
I got to go make some popcorn.
MPJ not a
No,
starter?
AP, no, AP,
no, I
not a
did.
starter?
The only thing I hate about the Nuggets is they black out all their games, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
It's
understand.
brutal. It's painful.
MPJ is a straight stud. I'll say this right now. How that guy went half a season without playing barely any
Freaking
minutes.
Malone.
Then he's
Mike
playing,
Malone's a
25 minutes every night, and then Malone puts him back to like 8 to 10 minutes a game. I
Malone's
don't
the worst
understand
coach.
it. Yeah, he's the
Worst coach.
So
worst
bad.
coach in the NBA. It's not even close. Not even close.
I just don't get it. Like, so
He's a moron.
Bol did it. I mean, he might have been hurt, whatever, but like, how do you not play that guy at all? He was hurt or something? Like, he's looked incredible. Granted, I'm not saying he's going to be a friggin' all-star, but he didn't play at all. Like, you can't find any minutes for this dude. Was he just injured?
No, Malone.
He's stroking threes. He's blocking shots. I mean,
I told you this, but I listened to a beat writer for the Nuggets, and he was literally saying that in the Nuggets practices, all the players were telling him that Bol is their best outside shooter, or like one
I
of
hope
their
they run
two
this
best.
team
Like,
too. Like, please
I
run
mean,
this team with all 5 bigs just to have fun with
They
it
won't.
and just see what happens.
Malone's not going to do it. I would
He's
love
not
it.
smart
It would
enough.
be great.
He's way too
MPJ,
dumb.
Bol, like I would love it, but
It'll be another year, another disappointing finish for the Nuggets. Standard. I've been telling Tony the same thing for years, and he picks them to win the title every year, and it backfires.
Win the title.
I mean,
Very
with
simple.
Malone at coach, there's no way they're beating either LA team, in my
No,
opinion. But
no,
they are
no
fun,
chance.
I will say.
If they run out this
Yay,
big
Bol.
lineup's their only chance. Like, just play a little different.
Yeah, well, so you're on point, though, for what you're saying. I think playing all the teams just outside the playoffs are going to be one thing, because those teams for sure are going to run their starters, at least in the first couple games. They're going to run them a ton of minutes. Portland is right back, 3 games back from Memphis. New Orleans, 4 games back. Sacramento, 4 games back. The Spurs are 5. Phoenix Suns are 6. Those teams can't lose that many games. Like, if the Phoenix Suns lose 2 or 3 games in a row, they're done. 2 or 3 games, pretty much they're done. They can't lose like that many games. They need to win like 5 or 6 games at least. And it's same thing with like Sacramento Kings, like Pelicans. So these first few games are going to be huge for them. So I would expect to see their studs, their good players, their main rotations be somewhat normal, as opposed to the teams, that Tony talked about, like that Denver through LA team. Those 3 teams are kind of locked in. It's kind of like the East. When you go to the East, you've got Milwaukee and Toronto, and then you got the Celtics, who are 3 games back from the Raptors. But I don't think
The East means nothing.
They don't.
Man. Like,
They don't need to play. They don't need to play their starters big minutes.
I think you can
But-
almost scrap the East completely. Like, no one's really playing for anything in
Well,
the East.
I'll tell you right now, the Sixers are playing their guys big minutes. I'll guarantee it, and they
For
look
what, though?
really good.
Why?
I don't know, but they look really good. I'll tell you right now. Why
are they going to play their guys, though?
I think they're going to play their guys. I don't think they want to be in the 6th seed. I think they want to move up.
Why don't they want to be in the 6th, though?
Because
They're
I'm
on the
telling you, I don't
opposite
think-
side of Milwaukee if they're in the 6th.
I mean, that is true. I still don't think they want to see the Celtics. I wouldn't want to see the Celtics.
Probably not. But, I mean, if
Celtics
they
are the second best team. I mean, I honestly think the Celtics have a chance to beat the Bucks. I think they have more talent than the Bucks, and it's not even close. But
yeah.
no one has a rebuttal to the Celtics having
I
more
can't
talent
wait
than
to watch the Bucks
Boys.
lose. I can't wait to watch them lose.
We got a show on Friday, man. We got to save some stuff.
Saving stuff for what?
We better
I mean,
have a show tomorrow. We got a show tomorrow, right? We better have a show tomorrow.
We do.
Gotta
It's the show.
ask JSU.
It's the Showdown Big T show.
That's
You guys gotta
it? We don't have a 2-game show? We better have a 2-game show tomorrow.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to add in a 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, opening night, we got to have a show.
We'll just
We'll get
just
something
add
going.
it.
I mean, we got to have our experts on there. AP, Hoop, JSU. We got to have you guys on a show.
We'll add it in. We'll add in as the director.
I mean, we got to do that.
Director, I'll add it in. I'll make sure it's added.
Who do we got tomorrow night? We need some winners for the bet side. I mean, we got the bets.
Ooh.
We got what are we opening? What's the first? The first is when we're going to start charging money for the bets. What is that? Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday. Yep.
Saturday. Well, who do we got? We got free picks tomorrow. I've been putting plays up there on the website, picking some winners too, by the way. But who do we got tomorrow night? Let's pick. Everybody's got to pick at least one winner tomorrow night in the NBA.
Got Jazz, Pelicans, and then Clippers, Lakers.
I know, but we got to pick a winner. Who are you picking?
I got the Clippers. I got the Clippers to win.
Of course you fucking got the Clippers.
I got Lakers to win it all.
I got the over
Lakers to win too.
I got the over in the Jazz Pelicans game.
You're taking a total?
Yeah, I just
talked about how we thought the games would be high scoring.
I literally just said I'm taking the over. You want me to take a team? I can take the winner.
The Jazz suck.
No, I'm going to take the Pelicans to win. But
that does seem easy. Like the Pelicans feel real easy. Like the Jazz suck, and the Pelicans need to win. What seed are the Jazz right now? Are they like the 6th?
Yeah, no, they're in that they're one game behind everyone. Like they're ahead one game behind everyone. So they're 5 or 6, but they're in the mix. They could drop all the way. They could be one of the teams that go out. No, they won't actually. But Memphis is way behind. My bad. They'll be in. It's really Memphis is the only team that can drop out in the West. I'm pretty sure.
I like it.
So. Yeah, I think we did it, guys. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We're going to definitely have some shows for tomorrow. I know me and Big T are going to pre-record a showdown show specifically for those big showdown contests that FanDuel and Draftkings are rolling out. I'm pretty sure that's for the LA game. So the Lakers,
100K both sides, 100K to first.
Yeah, 100K to first on both sides. So we'll have a show specifically for the showdown slate. So make sure you check that out over on runpuresports.com. If you haven't got over there, get over there, promo code join the movement. Check that out, sign up, get in the Discord chat. We're going to be in Discord, especially tomorrow. We got MLB, NBA, PGAs going off in the morning. We'll be in there answering questions and stuff. And then we'll probably have an NBA show a little later, or it might just tie into our MLB show because we got an MLB show at 5. So we might just extend it and talk some NBA at the end of it. So make sure you stay tuned for the MLB NBA show at 5. But for me, JSU, Hoop, AP, Big T, we're out of here.